All right. Good morning, my fellow capitalists and profit seekers. I am Rick Action Jackson, your growth stock guru. Thanks for joining me here today. I'm going to walk you through 3 stocks that I would buy today based on my top quintile strategy filter. And let me state that I am not giving personal advice to anyone here. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm just a lowly former Smith Barney stock analyst, and I'm just going to give you some education on the company. If you find it interesting enough to want to invest in it, please consult your financial advisor. Make sure that the risk of the stock meets your goals and your asset allocation needs. The stock market can be a dangerous place. You can lose money. All right, first at bat here. ServiceNow, ticker NOW. Let's go to the chart. This chart looks really ugly. I have a very, very strong rule on an ugly chart. Trying to catch a falling knife is one of the most difficult things to do in the stock market game. You do not try to do it unless you are willing to buy more of the stock if it goes lower. I think ServiceNow bottomed when the stock had a major volume spike right here at the end of April, and the stock got all the way down to $84. Since then, on every pullback, it has bottomed a little higher, and that's a good sign of a potential bottom. But up here, you see the 90-day average just went below the blue line, which is the 200-day moving average. That's known as a death cross. For short-term traders, this is a stock they're not going to touch. So it's just the fundamentalists that are going to buy this stock here. And let's hope that there's more fundamentalists buying than there are traders selling. And the reason why I think there probably will be is that this is a great company. This has got great management. And Wall Street's got it backwards. This stock is down because all of the enterprise software stocks dropped anywhere from 40 to 75% between October and April because Anthropic came out with a new version of their AI software platform where you could verbally instruct the software what you want in a new software program, and Anthropic would create the software program for you. And a lot of people on Wall Street said, oh, my God, this is going to put a lot of software companies out of business. Turns out that's not the case. A big problem with these Anthropic-created software programs is they're very easy to hack. And ServiceNow doesn't sell to 2-3-person small businesses operating out of their mother's garage. They sell to major enterprises, major government organizations, large nonprofits. I don't think they have a single customer that has less than 500 employees. And when you're on a system that big, the number one concern of the CIO is safety. And ServiceNow actually enhances that safety. One of the things the CEO, Bill McDermott, did back in March, which I thought was extremely smart, was that they actually bought an internet safety company last year, and they fully integrated it with their platform. And he announced that if you install all your future software into the ServiceNow platform instead of into your enterprise directly, he will guarantee it will not get hacked. And if it does get hacked, he set up a $100 million insurance fund to pay for any damages. ServiceNow acts as the control room of your enterprise system. It was created to make it easy to make changes in the enterprise. I can remember the day when they were upgrading systems. They actually sent around IT people to all the servers and inserted a thumb drive to do it. ServiceNow allows you to do everything from one desk, one computer. Grant access to people, deny people access, upgrade certain computers, not upgrade them. They are the control tower of the enterprise. And what they've done recently is they've added to their control panel how many tokens your employees are allowed to order. And a lot of these big companies are learning that AI is great, but the meter on AI tokens can build up very quickly. And how do you monitor it? Well, ServiceNow will not only allow you to set a budget for each employee, but ServiceNow will also let the employee know how much of their token budget they've used. So they can decide, do I spend the 60 cents per token program that's top of the line over at AI, ChatGPT, or do I go with the 3 cents per token one that's 2 years old? The CEO, Bill McDermott, who I personally know, and I think he's one of the most amazing business leaders I've ever met, he has told Wall Street over and over again, AI is not a threat to ServiceNow. AI is going to cause ServiceNow to grow faster because these AI applications he's added to the platform only makes the platform more attractive. I actually got to sit down one day with the mother of a friend of mine who works at a major university. She's number 2 in the IT department. She said she spends her whole day on the ServiceNow platform. It's basically what she does. Her job is to find problems and cut them off at the pass. And ServiceNow lets her know when things are going wrong before anybody else does and helps her fix it immediately. She said she didn't know how she would do her job without it. So these do-it-yourself programs are not going to be replacing ServiceNow. ServiceNow has incredible integrity and safety on its system. They're making your system safer. Most hacks occur on a piece of software in the first 30 days it's installed. ServiceNow is removing that danger by saying, don't download it into the enterprise. Don't put it on your IBM mainframe. Don't put it on your servers. Put it on our platform, and we'll distribute the software to all the people in the organization that should have it. So I am completely confident that this stock comes back and makes a new high. I don't know if that new high is going to take 9 months or 5 years, but the CEO, Bill McDermott, has promised that he's going to be a $40 billion company before the end of 2030 as far as annual revenues. They're a $19 billion company now. Companies consistently beat the numbers every quarter since Bill McDermott took over as CEO 4 years ago. And he thinks AI is going to accelerate their growth rate from 17-18% per year to 20-22% per year. He's only produced 1 quarter of 20% growth since the decline in the stock price. But I believe he does it 2 more times, and I believe he will do that. You're going to see this stock come back very quickly. My target on ServiceNow is $240 in 2 years. I get there by taking a 40 multiple, which is low for this company historically. It normally trades at a 50 or 60 multiple, and putting it on a $11.65 earnings forecast, which is basically growing their earnings 20% the next 2 years. The stock is currently selling at 24 times earnings on trailing earnings and 19 on next year. This company has a huge ROI. It has huge margins. It has huge growth. It has no debt. Buy this stock. ServiceNow, under $100 to steal, and be prepared to buy more if it goes lower. But I don't think it will go lower. I think it will hold the prior low of 96, and then if it breaks that, I doubt it makes a new low, which would have to go below 84. They're reporting their earnings in tomorrow. So if you like it, I'd buy it before the earnings. And if it goes down after the earnings, I'd buy more unless they miss the numbers. But they've never missed a number since Bill became CEO, and I don't think he will. But ServiceNow, NOW, buy it under 100. Next, we have Regeneron. I have been in love with this company ever since I first discovered it when it was a $120 stock and they were coming out with their second drug. Today they have a dozen drugs. Let's go to the chart. I got the 5-year up here. The stock peaked out at $1,200 back in the fall of 2024. It plummeted all the way down to $500. It never missed an earnings forecast during that period. And I don't think they're going forward, because one thing that Regeneron has in its favor going forward, and I could spend 3 hours telling you about all the dozen of biotech drugs they have in the pipeline right now. But these were the guys that developed a cure for COVID in 6 months, and they were the only company to come up with a cure. A lot of companies came up with vaccines. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. It was the only company that came up with a cure. They are wizards at viruses. They are wizards at RNA and DNA defects. That is the boom of biotech going forward. And here's something I don't think many people on Wall Street understand, but I understand it very well. Their number one drug, Dupixent, is a $4 billion drug. By the way, this is the only drug company on the planet that has developed in-house $4 billion drugs. All the rest of the drug companies that have more than $2 billion drugs, they bought the drug from another company. This company only self-creates drugs. They don't buy drugs from other companies. Dupixent does $4 billion a year. When they were developing Dupixent, they were getting a little low on cash, so they cut a deal with Sanofi of France. Sanofi gave them a lot of money, and they said, we're going to have the rights to sell this in Europe. You get 10 cents on the dollar in Europe, but you get 90 cents on the dollar on anything in the U.S. or North or South America, and they would split up Asia country by country. But the French told Regeneron, if this drug ever generates more than $2 billion a year, and it's going to do $4 billion this year, we want the money we gave you for R&D back. So Regeneron has been paying Sanofi for the last 3 years about $20 billion a year. They're done with those payments in another quarter. So they automatically are going to grow their earnings 20% next year just from getting rid of that payment. And they've got 5 new drugs coming out. Wall Street's only predicting 15% increase in earnings. They're going to blow that away. So Regeneron, buy it under $675. My target price is $1,300. I get there with a 25 multiple on $52 in earnings. That's REGN. Buy it under $675. And lastly, we have a company that got destroyed, similar to the way ServiceNow got destroyed. Let's go to the chart. It's Veeva Systems, VEEV. What do these guys do? These guys are basically the CRM of the biotech world. But it's not a CRM on the doctors they're educating and presenting the drugs to. It's a CRM for the people they're doing the clinical trials on. Anytime anybody's got any information on anybody involved in a clinical trial, it gets put into their system. They also keep in this company's system all the RNA and DNA information on the patients. This company's not getting replaced by somebody creating a software in their basement. The security concerns on this information is huge. Not only is it protected by HIPAA and creates major fines if you don't keep it protected from the general public, but it's got all the R&D for these companies. They do business with 17 of the 20 biggest biotech companies in the world, and they're keeping their test results on their platform. Extremely secure, very conservative management. They've beat the earnings every quarter for the last 4 years. They're always predicting 8 to 10% revenue growth. They tend to come in 11 to 13, and they're always predicting 12 to 15% profit growth. They've always come in higher than what they predict, and they've made every quarter since the stock collapsed. But again, it didn't collapse because of these companies' results. It collapsed because of the fear Anthropic put into Wall Street that made them think every software company is going to get replaced by a homemade software program. Even if you could make a software program that could compete with Veeva's biotech lab and biotech testing tracking, you would never use someone else's out of fears of being hacked. Because not only if you get hacked, you lose your critical advantage over other companies that you spent billions of dollars to create, you're also going to get fined enormously by the government for violating HIPAA privacy law. So I think the fears of some new competitor popping up because of AI are ridiculous. And I think picking up the stock here under 190 is a home run. My target on it is $338. We get there by putting a 30 multiple on $11.25 in earnings in 2028. Under 192, it's a steal. It gives you 75% of upside. And this is a software as a service company. They get paid every month by all their clients. Little to no debt, very stable and steady revenue growth, and they have extremely low turnover in the clientele. So VEEV, the pullback here's a gift. Pick it up. That's our 3 for today. Hope you dig it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you down the road.